Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss time and distance, time, speed and distance concept for CSAT examination. See, you have to understand this thing. Generally, the questions are, especially from 2021-22, the questions of quant and both RC are now difficult. It is something higher than bank PO level. And it is, my view that in another 3-4 years, the paper is going to be more difficult. And time, speed and distance is an important topic. But again, let's say if the examination scenario you start making equation and solve these questions through equation, that will take hell lot of time. So what you have to focus on conceptual building. Right. If your concepts are strong, then the same question you can do even without touching your pen paper, right? So let's see what kind of question UPSC has asked, and then my plan is to discuss 3 difficult questions, right? 2-3 difficult questions, and the purpose of this session is, let's say once we have discussed 2-3 questions, and if somehow I can change your, let's say, little bit, make it refined. Your way of thinking, especially in questions of time and distance, then I'm pretty sure that that will save time. And not only this, see, what is the important one? Let's say you can tackle difficult questions from quant. That does not mean that will help you in CSAT paper only. It will help you, your overall intellectual development. And that will spill over into GS and optional preparation as well. So let me take this question. This question came from CSAT in 2021, and this is question number 29. It is a very simple question. What it says, a person X from place A and another person from place Y. So there is a place A, right? Place B, and the person X starts from here and Y start from here. Okay. Set out at the same time to walk towards each other. The places are separated by a distance of 15 km. Right? Distance of 15 km. Okay. X walks with a uniform speed of 1.5 km. X is moving with a speed of 1.5 km. Right? And Y is moving with a speed of 1 km in the first hour. Let's say first moving 1 km per hour, then 1.25, then 1.5, and so on. That's what they have said, right? Now suppose you have, see what is my, then they are asking, which of the following is the correct answer. One option they have given, they take 5 hours to meet. Let's say in 5 hours, they will come. Both of them will complete this distance, and they meet midway between A and B. Okay, that means 7.5 at 7.5, right? See, let's say you're in an examination scenario. When I was reading this question, I was drawing these lines. What should be your see? Solving this question is very simple. How you will think in examination? Okay, I have to cover 15 km, right? And and this is moving at 1.5, 1.5, right? So in 5 hours, how much X will cover? 1.5 into 5, that would be 7.5. And this person will cover how much? It is moving at the speed of 1.25, 1.5, then 1. Can you see the increment of 0.25 every time? Then 2. So how much? Right? Can you see? Okay, if you know AP series, you will immediately make out. Okay, this is your how much? 3. This again is 1.25 plus 1.75 is again 3, and this is so 1.5 into 5 should be the sum of these numbers, right? So this is 7.5 by Y, and X, X was traveling at the speed of 1.5, so this is 7.5. 7.5 plus 7.5, that is 15 km they will cover, and both are covering 7.5 km, 7.5 km, so that meets midway. See, what is the point? If you are going to write so much in examination, it's okay, but my suggestion is you have to write only 80% of what I have written on the board. See, this is more important, this thought is more important than even solving this question. Question is not difficult. And gradually what will happen, let's say in 2023, 24, the paper is going to be difficult. So this skill is going to be more handy, tackling the difficult quant questions, and enlarging your cognitive skills, quantitative skills. So that is, so how that can happen, how you can become more competent in quantitative question. One way is, let's say you practicing many questions, right, with the same skill set, with the same same thought process and same difficulty level. So this is one. Second thing is, you take up difficult question, not very difficult, but let's say 30, 40, 50% more difficult than CSAT level, 30 to 40%. And you thinking about them, you're changing your way of calculation, your thought process. So my suggestion is go for this one, right? Because one cannot improve the thought process if one is adhering to the same, if one is not taking up challenges, how the thought process will change. So that's what it is. So we took this question. Now let us take one difficult question, right? So what the question is, see, I want to discuss three different types of time, speed and distance question. And this is my opinion. If you can solve these three questions, then at least for 6-7 years in CSAT, at least for as far as 6-7 years, let's say till 2030, you will be able to solve any question in CSAT with on time, speed and distance. So, and generally, see what happens. There are only particular few types of question. Let's say somebody says time, speed and distance, right? So in this, there are hardly 15 types of question. Okay. So if you have tackled those, you have understood those 15 types of question, difficult one. So you can solve any questions in CSAT, CAT or any other examination. Let's see what this question is. Question number 1. It says, in a race, there is a race, A beats B by 10 meters. A beats, so A, B, C, there were 3 people are there. A beats B by 10 meters. Okay, so let's say A is there, B was here, then it beats by 10 meters. Okay, and C by 69 meters. So let's say C is here only. So both of them started from, 3 of them started from here. They were running in this direction. A reached here, B was only here, and A defeated C by 69 meters. That is, this is 59. Okay. A beats B by 60, and okay, then what they are saying, and B beats C by 60 meters. Let's say now again in the same race, what will happen? Let's say B reaches this point. Okay, then C will be where? 60 meters behind. So this is the question. Try to understand. See what is happening. This was the first race. 3 of them started from here, A, B, C. A reached the destination, but B was 10 meters behind, and the C was 69 meters behind. This means this distance was 59. Okay. Then let's say if B tried to complete this distance. Okay. If B tried to complete this distance, B reached the final destination. Then B is beating C by 60 meters. Then what was the length of the track? This is the question. What was the length of this track? This track. Okay. Now this is not a very difficult question, but this is a, I will say moderate difficulty level, and just let your mind calm. If you can tackle such questions in 2-3 layers of thinking, then not only CSAT, any quantitative examination, aptitude examination happening in this country, you would be very comfortable. Now your fundamental formula is only one. What do you know? Distance is equal to speed into time, right? This is everyone knows this. So how you are going to solve it? Let's say you also know this thing. See, now here comes the visualization. What you will do, let's say you will imagine this distance is, in the first situation, this distance is x. Okay. A covered how much? X. B is covering how much? X minus 10. See, I'm just writing the distance covered by A, B and C in the first race. So C will cover how much? X minus 69. Right? Or you can write x minus 10 minus 59 or x minus 59. What is happening in the second situation? Second situation, same. Now this thing, now B has covered how much distance? X distance. Because see, that length of the track is same. So this is x. Then here what is the distance covered by C? This is x minus 60. Okay. Now see, just only this much you have to write in examination and your question is done. This is the way you have to think. Let's say you started thinking, okay, you started making equation, someone, let us assume distance is x, the distance covered by, x is equal to speed of A into time taken by A, then, x minus 10 for B, right? Speed of B into time taken by B, right? One will be lost, in so many variables, speed of A, time of A, right? Then x minus, you will write x minus 69 is equal to speed of C into time taken by C. So like that you have to. Now, see, try to visualize this thing. See, why I have written x beneath x minus 10? Because I know in the first condition, in the first race, B traveled x minus 10. If the total distance is x, so B traveled 10 meter less compared to A, so it was x minus 10. C covered how much? C covered x minus 69. But in the same second condition, B is traveling x. So now let me take the ratio of these two numbers. Okay. So, and now I'm taking the ratio of these two numbers. So what I'm doing, x minus 10 is upon x is equal to x minus 69 upon x minus 60. Somebody might ask, see, if you have understood this, this is the most important, this is the most crucial, step in this question. And let me, remind you, such steps are going. See, this ability to think this way is going to be tested in CSAT after not in 2023. By 2025, you are going to get question like this. Can you believe? Can you identify why these two ratios are equal? So what you can do? See, now you can see the equation. Let me write this equation. What you can write? You can say x minus 10 is equal to time 1 into speed of B, x is equal to time 2 into speed of B, right? Because the speed of B will be constant, right? So here what is x minus 10? First race, B took some time, let's say we are calling time 1, but the speed was SB only. In the second race, B traveled x. So the time took maybe T2 and this was same. Okay. Similarly, you can write x minus 69 is equal to what you will write? Speed of C into T1, because see why I am writing T1 here, because in the time B took to travel x minus 10, C in the same time C traveled x minus 69. So this T1 and this T1 has to, see, this is the most important, just thinking, just writing these two lines and taking this ratio. If you, go according to this method, making 7-8 equation, the mind will get, you will be lost in that question. So once you have understood this, similarly here what you will write, x minus 60 is equal to speed of C into time of T. Now you can see why these ratios are same, because let's say I take x minus 10 upon x. So what I will get? T1 upon T2. SB will cancel. Similarly, x minus 69 upon x minus 60, they will get cancelled. So I will get T1 upon T2. So this ratio is equal to T1 upon T2. This ratio is equal to T1 upon T2. That's why, see, now this thing you have visualized by using equation. Now try to visualize even without writing this equation. How you can think? You are saying, what you will say, see, these are distances. And you know the speed of B in the first situation, in the first race, and the second race is same. Similarly for the C. So what you will say, whatever, try to visualize this thing. B took some time here, okay, and B took the time which B took here and the time C took here are same, right? You know, let's say B is traveling x minus 10 in 10 t seconds. So similarly, C is traveling x minus 69 in t second. Here, B is traveling x in, let's say, t1 second. C is traveling x minus 60 in t. So once you have understood this thing, you know, if you visualize this thing, see, that visualization will come with practice, even without, see, once your visualization enlarge, then you can skip these equations as well. Then with practice, what you will do, you will directly write this question and you will take the ratio, and from here you will calculate the value of x. See, now what will happen, let's say if you practice 5-6 questions like this, these are difficult questions, but next time you get a question like this in examination, you will directly write this equation, and from here you will calculate the value of x. Calculating a value of x is, I think, is not a big problem. What you will do, again, x minus 10, x minus 60, x square minus 69, x, and this will be x square minus 60x minus 10x minus 70x plus 600 is equal to x square minus 69x. X square will get cancelled. Okay, then x will be 600 meter. See, now one more thing. Suppose your computation abilities are very good. So there is some option. So here, rather than solving this, this equation, you can directly try to put option and eliminate the wrong one. This is the way, if somebody says, I scored 99.100% will get, this is the way they think. So this is my session. Try to think in such a manner. Okay. So I hope this thought process has helped you. Now let us take another question. There is one more question. It says, in a 12-kilometer race, A, B, C are running at uniform speed. Okay. A beats B by 2 km and B beats C by 2 km. Okay. Let me, the race is of 12 km. What is happening first? And A, B, C again. Here also, A, B, C. They are running at uniform speed. A beats B by 2 km. This means A is here, B is here, and this was 2 km. And in this, the length of the track is 12 km. Okay. And B beats C by, A beats B by 2 km and B beats C by 2 km. Okay. Then by how many kilometers does A beats C? B beats C by 2 km. Then the question is, by how many kilometers? Let's say, where is C, right? C, this, okay. You have to identify this gap. Question is clear? That length of the track is 12 km. Let me call it this point OM. So OM is equal to 12 km. See, this is just for explanation purpose. But in examination, please do not do that OM is equal to 12 km. No. In examination, see, even you don't have to write what is ABC. All this is, you just directly come to the point. What you will say? Okay, this is 10, this is 12 km. This is the final point. A have reached here. Then, A beat B by 2 km. So the gap between A and B is 2 km. And B beats C by 2 km. Then gap between B and C is... Then by how many kilometers does A beats C? That is the question. Now again, in this question, if you will go on solving equation, that would be, big problem. So what you will do, see, one way, what you will visualize. In this first situation, what you know, that in the time A traveled 12 kilometer, B traveled 10 kilometer. This thing is clear, right? Let's say both take t time. So one way of thinking is, let's say distance covered by A is equal to time taken by A into speed of A. Okay, this is one way of thinking. Then you will say distance covered by B is equal to time taken. Both have taken same time and speed of B. Okay, and then you will say, okay, now I will take the ratio and t cancelled. So speed of A upon speed of B is equal to distance upon A upon distance of B. So see, generally you start thinking this way, but in examination scenario with practice you have to write directly. What in examination you are going to write directly this thing is equal to 12 upon 10. You don't have to write this thing in examination scenario. That will save your time. Okay. Now similarly, once you have written this thing, what you will write here? SB upon SC is equal to 12 upon 10. See, why I am writing 12? Because in the second scenario, again B traveled how much? 12. C traveled how much? 10. Right? So now you have to find you have to find how much C traveled by the time A traveled 12 kilometer. So in your hand now you have only two equations. What you will do? See, you just have to play with numbers. You say, okay, these two equations. Immediately, what you will get. You will multiply this thing, right? Then you will say 144 upon 100, right? 12 into 12. So I think this is very clear. Now, see, now if once this thing is clear, आपको answer directly दिखना चाहिए. Let's say options are like, let me give you some options as well. The options are given. Options given are 3.67, B is 5, C is 6, D is 4.25, right? Kilometers, all in kilometers. So they are asking. So now see how you will think. Okay, you will say, now I have to find out the distance traveled by C. Again, the basic formula is this one only. You will say, okay, distance traveled by A upon distance traveled by C is equal to distance traveled by A, distance traveled by C, right? Because it's taking same. And this is how much? This is 12. Okay. And this ratio is how much? This you just now saw, 144 upon, that is 12 into 12 upon 100. Right? So you have to calculate what? Distance covered by C. So 12 got cancelled. That is 100 upon 12. 100 upon 12 is how much? See, I am cancelling. If you are computationally very strong, you will not even write this step. From here only you will visualize that this number is 1.44, right? And that means I have to find out 100 upon 12. Because see, you know the distance of A is equal to 12. So the moment you know the distance covered by A is 12 kilometer and you know the speed ratio is 1.44, immediately what should come to your mind? The distance traveled by C is nothing but 100 upon 12. Now see, suppose you start getting how you are going to calculate 100 upon 12. Here also your competition, you must know these numbers. Let's say what is 1 upon 1, 1 upon 2, 0.5, 1 upon 3, 0.333, 1 upon 4, 0.25, 1 upon 5 is 0.2, 1 upon 6 is 0.1666, 1 upon 7 is 14.28, 1.428, right? 1 upon 8, right? Your हो गया 1 upon 125, right? 1 upon 9 is 0.111, 1 upon 10 everyone knows, 1 upon 11 is 0.090909. So if you if you have this data, this database in your mind, the what is the value of 1 upon 3, 1 upon 6, so your calculation will also become very, very easy, right? So this number is nothing but the 8.333. So you know, by the time A is traveling 12 kilometer, C will travel only 8.333. So what is the difference? 3.67. 3.67 plus 8.333 is equal to your 12 kilometer, right? So again, to help you understand what is the main crux, of there are two important things. One thing, you must be good in calculation, and second thing, you must hit at the logic, the main logic of this problem. What is that main logic? That the speed ratio of A is to B is 12 upon 10, and here speed ratio of B is to C is 12 upon 10. From that you got the speed ratio of A is to C, that is 1.44. And let's say, see, even from here you can visualize it. Let's say I am writing speed of A upon speed of C is equal to 1.44. What it means? It means when let's say C is traveling 1 kilometer, A will travel 1.44 kilometer. So this is the way you have to extrapolate now. So how many kilometers C will travel by the time A has traveled 12 kilometer, right? So I think this is now okay. But please try to think this way. Do not write too many equations. And I wish to take one more question. This question is there. Let me see. This is a good question, and in many aptitude examination, in CAT, that you will find question like this. This question is: X and Y run a 100-meter race. X beats Y by 10 meters. Okay. So this is a question 3. So X is there, 100-meter race. This was 100-meter race. All right. From this distance to this, and X beats Y by how many meters? 10 meters, right? Now to do a favor to Y, X start 10 meters behind. So the race started and X was faster, and X reached, completed the race. Y was only at 90 meters from the origin. So what the X did? X said, now I will start 10 meters behind. So what 10 meters behind means? So let's say this was the distance, original distance. So he went 10 meters behind. So X started from this point. Now the question is, what is the question? Which of the following is correct? So what will happen? Now X and Y will start from here only, right? So X and Y will reach at the same time, or X will beat Y, Y will beat X, or question like this. And this is very common question, and it's a very my suggestion is try to think about questions like this. They build your conceptual, they help you build your conceptual understanding. See, just try to visualize what will happen in this 10 meter. Let's say when X in the first condition, when the X traveled 100 meter, how much Y traveled? 90 meter, because it is beaten by 10 meter. So the speed ratio of X is to Y is 10 is to 9. Okay. Now what is happening? You have to see why this question has been asked. You might think, okay, in the first case, X B was by 10 meters behind. So now X is starting 10 meters behind. So it might happen that both X and Y reach at the same time. So, but X and Y will not reach at the same time. Why? The important thing is you have to understand why they are not reaching at the same time. So think this way. What is happening in the second condition? How much distance X will travel? 110 meters, right? Okay. And while traveling 110 meters, how much distance, let's say, Y would be able to travel? If you can just calculate that point, if x travel 110 meter, how much y would be able to travel? The question is done. So what you will say? You will say, okay, this is my speed ratio, 10:9. Okay. So, this, let's say the distance traveled by y you have to calculate. This will be equal to 10:9 because the speed ratio is going to be same. So you just have to calculate this number. So how much it will travel? dy is equal to 99. Can you see? See, this is simple now, right? This is your distance ratio. This is your speed ratio. Time is same. I would have written t into t, but that will get cancelled. So x is traveling 110 meter. In the same time, y will travel only 99 meter. So again, what will happen? X will beat the y by 1 meter. Okay. So try to visualize this and see why it is happening. Okay, if somebody asks you how far from the origin x should start so that x and y reach at the same time. That is a very, very interesting problem, and I hope you will try to think that. What, let's say I have to assume some distance x. I'm assuming this distance u. Okay, I'm assuming this distance u plus 100 meter, right? Upon distance traveled by y. Okay. Distance traveled by y, how much it has to be? It has to be 100 only because it is given, right? Because you are assuming it is 100 is equal to 10/9. Right? So from here, what you will do? You will calculate your how much far from the origin x has to start so that they reach at the same time. So how much it will be? 9 du is equal to 1000, right? 1000 minus 900, that will be 100/9 u. So this is the x should start not 10 meters. How much? Okay, what is 100/9? 100/9 is, you will write it like 11.111111. Okay, so x has to start 11.111111 meters behind. Okay, from the starting point. Now I have discussed 3 types of question. Let me also explain you one more concept. See, if you have understood these 4 concepts, let me also assure you one thing. In the next 5-6 years, you would be able to solve any question coming in CSAT from speed, time and distance. There is one more important problem in this time, speed and distance. What they say, let's say there is a plane or ship, anything. It is moving from x to y. It is going from destination A to B. Now, when it moves from A to B, there is some wind supporting it, right? Let's say plane is also moving in this direction. This is plane and this is wind. So wind will support it, right? And what will happen when plane will move from B to A? It will drag it, right? So the question is, if there was no wind, then the time taken from A to B, to and fro journey, right? Time taken from A to B plus B to A would be equal to time taken from A to B plus B to A. Okay, I'm just putting it, bar here to indicate the wind thing. Okay, so this time is same, or other situation will be greater or smaller. That thing you have to tell. So if you start solving this question examination, it will take a lot of time. But try to visualize what important concept the examiner is trying to test. See what they're saying. Let's say plane speed is some, let's say 500 km per hour, and this distance is, let's say 1000 km. So visualize like this. So from A to B, how much distance? 1000. This distance is 1000. So time, how much time it will take? Distance upon speed. Let's say plane speed is 500 and wind speed, let's say, take 50, right? So both are supporting agents, right? So your, how much time you will take? 500 plus 50. But when you're coming back from B to A, it will be 1000 upon, it will repel, right? Because wind will keep on flowing in the same direction, right? Wind will always flow, but when the plane comes from B to A, it will opposing it. So you will write 500 minus 50. Okay. So if you calculate this, so this is the time taken when there is a wind situation. Let's say there is no wind. So then what is the time taken? 1000 upon 500, then 1000 upon 500 from B to A. That will be nothing but 4 hours. Let's say if there is no wind, it will take 4 hours. So your common sense might say, okay, in the one direction wind is helping me, so I will take less time. But in the other direction wind is opposing me, so I will take more time. So the time which, that less time and the more time, the time which is in the first, see, when moving from A to B, you are gaining some speed, right? So you are taking less time. So that decrease in time might be equal to the increase in time when coming from B to A. So this might be the common sense, but again, let me caution you, this is not the case, and in many aptitude examination, this concept is tested, in CAT, ZAT, in CSAT also they have tested this concept once. So this is what you have to visualize. What you have to remember, whenever there is a wind or stream or anything, it will always increase the time journey from A to, to and fro time journey. Okay, and you can see it here. See, what is that? This is 100 upon 55, right? 100 upon 55 plus 100 upon 45. If you solve it, you will find it is more than 400. Okay, how you will solve it? Okay, let's do the calculation. Can you do the calculation? Okay, you will say, okay, 5, 20, 11, then 20 upon 9. Okay, see now, here also you can visualize where the, see, 1 upon 11 is what? 0.090909, right? 0.090909 into, you will do 2, right? 20 plus 1 upon 9 is what? 0.1111 into what you will do? 2. So now you can see, right? See here what is happening. It is 0.181818, okay, like recurring, and here it will be 0.2222. So if it was exactly 0.20, then and it was 0.0. Suppose this is the 0.18000 and this was 0.222, then it might have been 4, but this number is more than 4. So that's why this is the way you have to think in examination. And see, once you have practiced question like this at home, in examination you would be very comfortable. Maybe you will reach at that level, you will not even, you will just mark the question, correct one. Okay. So I hope this session helped you. In the next session, we will take more questions. See, the idea would remain the same. It is not the number of questions. It is more important should be the quality of question. And within that, to help you refine your way of thinking, at least quantitative thinking, how to read the verbal RCs, that is more important. Okay, thank you very much.